Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Higurashi Chapter 2. It's your boy Karagol Gaming, and you know how we do things around here. This is part 3. We're gonna get right into it. If you missed last part, go ahead and peep it. I'll wait, don't worry. Psych!
いいですか皆さん。お料理は真剣にやらないと思わぬ怪我をします。
Yeah, you don't wanna be cooking with spoiled meat.
これも授業ですからふざけないでしっかりやってくださいね。
A lazy yeah wafted through the class in response. After the school today was going to be home economics class. The plan was for everybody to make curry rice and give it to the forest rangers who let this building be rented out as school. If everybody were making curry rice in the same pot, it would have been more of a party-like atmosphere, but this was school after all. Excluding the youngest students, each one of us would be making our own curry, with the results being judged.
いいですか。今でこそカレーライスは手軽で簡単で誰にでも作れるメニューということになっていますが、日本式にアレンジされたとはいえ、そこには古代インドの英知と文化が込められています。夢そのことをおろそかにしないように。真剣にやらない人は先生が本気で怒りますから、そのつもりで。
That seemed like a needlessly passionate sermon on curry. Well, whatever.
知恵先生はカレーに命かけてるって噂でしたよ。採点はきっと厳しいですわよ。
家庭科の点数なんか赤点でさえなければ適当でいいんだよ。適当で。
適当なんて言わない方がいいよ。先生、カレーに関しては鬼だから。
なんだよそのカレーの鬼って。初耳だぞ。
普段は温厚ないい先生なんだけどね。どういうわけかカレーにだけはうるさいんだよ。そりゃもう熱中的なくらいに。
秘伝のカレーを研究するためにって言って毎年インドに旅行に行ってるって言ってたもんね。風の噂ですとご飯は3食カレーライスで、たまに他のものを食べる時でも必ずカレー味というこだわりぶりらしいですの。
Okay.
それ変質的というより変態的だぞ。何か悪い宗教にでも入ってるんじゃないのか。だいたいカレーなんてジャンクフードの筆頭じゃねえかよ。3食カレーなんて栄養的にも偏って。
Where the fuck does curry top the list when it comes to junk food? Embedded into the table right by my fingertips, a chef knife, ladle, and spatula hummed gently as they still quivered. The teacher, while still mixing her own pot, was looking this way, smiling.
ケイちゃん、シー。それ以上言ったら埋葬される。
Vicious. Saying even a little bit more would make my situation a lot more dire.
へいへい、しっかり真面目にカレーを作ればいいわけだろ。
でも今日はそう簡単にはいかないのです。みーちゃんが。
It's written all over her face. If the playing field is even and we're being judged, there is no way this won't turn into a competition.
分かってるねみんな。料理勝負だ。
I knew it. There's no way Mion would leave such an enticing event alone.
勝敗はどうするでございますの？先生の採点で決めますの？
As if saying, but wait, there is more. The teacher reappeared with the principal in town.
今日は営林署の皆さんへの感謝のイベントですから、先生だけでなく採点はみんなで行いますよ。
わしと先生とそれから営林署の方5人で採点する。各自健闘を祈るぞ。
Even the principal? Looking around, it seemed like the interests of everybody in the class had been piqued.
そういうわけ。のんびりしたカレーパーティーなんかには終わらせないよ。
レナ、カレーは得意だよ。今日は負けないよ。私の学年は班で作りますから。
汚ねえ。リカちゃんは確かかなりの料理上手じゃ。
僕のカレーで美味しくって体がどうにかなっちゃうのです。
What about Mion? She doesn't seem like she's too good at cooking. Her type has always been bad at this type of thing. What? But Mion continued to look unconcerned.
ケイちゃんが今思ってることを当て、ミオンはきっと料理が下手に違いない。でしょう。
I don't like the way she said that. It couldn't be. Mion couldn't possibly. At that moment, the teacher's whistle sounded.
では皆さん、いいですか？刃物には十分に気をつけてくださいね。はじめ！
The call to arms had sounded. We had to use an outdoor kit to cook the rice, but it wasn't that difficult for a camping veteran like me. Put the rice in the canister, push your palm to the bottom, and fill it with water just above the wrist. Interesting.
本当にそんな水加減でいいんですの？もっと入れないといけないそうですのよ。
You filthy liar. If I put in any more, I'll just be left with some half-cooked porridge.
さとこ、それが罠のつもりなら俺は慣れてるぞ、飯盒炊飯は。はじめちょろちょろ中パッパ。赤子泣いても蓋取るな。
ケイチくんすごいね。ちょっと意外。サマーキャンプで習ったのかな。
親父がデイキャンプが好きでさ、夏場なんかにはよく家族で出かけるんだよ。
ってことは全員ご飯の炊き方は問題なし。つまり勝負の分かれ目はカレーの方ってことになるね。
カレーこそ理科の独壇場ですのよ。皆さんなんかコテンパンですわ。
Phrasing.
理科のってとこが泣けるぞ。お前も何か料理を手伝えよ。
ひょっとするとさとこちゃんは何もお手伝いをしないのが一番のお手伝いなのかもね。勝負は勝てば官軍でございますわよ。
That was a pretty malicious comment for Rena. And Satoko took it hook, line, and sinker. Rena could only apologize between fits of laughter while Satoko chased her around.
じゃあ早速カレーの方に行こうかね。ここからが勝負どころだよ。
After rinsing off the carrots, potatoes, and other standard vegetables, I grasped the knife.
今日のカレーはどんな味？
Death. As Rena hummed along, her well-practiced hands wielded her knife. The rhythmical sound of the knife hitting the cutting board harkened to kind of images of days long gone past. Simply put, it was perfect. It was so calm and practiced, I seriously don't stand a chance. I looked over at Satoko and Rika-chan. Satoko was in charge of washing the vegetables, while Rika-chan was in charge of peeling them. That's what I heard being discussed, but Rika-chan's knife skills are something else as well. She was happily rotating the potato and peeling it quite quickly. On top of that, the peel spanned the entire potato. What was that called again? Katsuramuki! I've heard that peeling a vegetable in one loop around like that is a highly regarded technique. She picked up the peel from the sink and carved a pair of eyes into it with her knife.
ヘビさんなのですよ。ガオー。
Saying that, she placed the longly peeled potato skin on top of the head of a boy from her group. She wasn't even breaking a sweat. When it comes to Rika-chan and cooking, I couldn't even hold a candle to her. But roar! Do snakes make that sound? Alright then, how's Mion doing? She's definitely just fumbling along. There's no way she can peel a potato so effortlessly like that. Absolutely no way.
そんなわけあるか。絶対嘘だ。トリックだ。SFX だ。ワイヤーとか使ってるに違いない。
ほれ、ビローン。
As if she had already won, Mion proudly showed me the elongated potato skin.
ケイチは知らないですか？ミーはおばあちゃんにお料理とかも教えてもらってるですよ。料理だけじゃないよ。裁縫からお花におこと、重機から無線機、ヘリの操縦まで何でもできるんだからね。
What the fuck? Strangely enough, the latter items were more realistic. It was the first few items on that list that seemed like a lie.
本当はすっごくお料理上手なんだよ。面倒くさがって全然作らないけどね。
Damn it! I'm also really good at cooking, you know? Especially Chinese food.
ケイチ、お湯を沸かして注ぐのは料理に入りませんです。
Shot down before I could even say it.
ざまあない。今日はケイチさんの一人負け確定ですわよ。
てめえだって料理できないだろが。
リカかわいそかわいそです。僕がケイチをコテンパンにしてあげますです。
This does not look good. Everybody's smirking at me, dude. Don't raise the white flag just yet, Keiichi Maebara. Don't throw away this match. Calm down and think. Not about how to peel these potatoes well, but about how to win this challenge.
ここはギャラリーが多い。俺他の流しで仕事するから。
Saying only that, I gathered up all the vegetables and left that spot behind.
ケイチくん大丈夫かな。包丁で指とか切らないか心配。
さて、ケイちゃんのお手並み拝見だね。
No matter how hard I try peeling these, if I slip up at this speed, I'll lop my fingers right off. Then, there's only one thing left to do.
富田君、岡村君、お、君たちは4人でグループか。
It was the two underclassmen that had become my sworn brothers ever since the event at the toy store last Sunday. They had been paired with two girls for their group.
女子2人が料理とか得意なんで。
Oh no.
俺らは遊んでるだけで OK です。
These guys are gonna die, aren't they? That's why they got introduced in the first chapter. Both of them pointed at the girls. They're not as good as Rena, but they were both good enough at handling a knife.
単刀直入に言おう。このままでは部活に負ける。君たちの班が向いた野菜をくれ。
前原さん、それほとんど恐喝でも、まあ話によっては交渉次第なら OK ってことですよ。
たくましい奴らだな。まあ当然だ。ではこうしよう。俺が勝てたらさとこ&リカちゃんグループのカレーを食わせてやる。これならどうだ。
どうしようかな。
Both of them were hesitant after such a weighty proposal. Just one more little push seems to be in order. Very well then, let's make them an offer they can't refuse. I pulled both of them close by the shoulders and made my offer in a hushed tone.
もちろん、さとことリカちゃんの食べかけをだ。スプーンもつける。
Our red mist spouted vigorously from the noses of the two underclassmen.
あら、ケイチさんも結構やりますのね。綺麗なじゃがいもですこと。
Having brilliantly cleared the vegetable peeling challenge, I returned to my comrades in triumph.
へえ、すごいねすごいね。ケイチくんの皮むき上手だよ。
違うね。ケイちゃんが剥いたのはじゃがいもじゃなく。
ああ、俺はとっくに本気だぞ。てめえらまとめてぶっ潰してやるぜ。
Having finished with preparing the vegetables, next is to boil a pot of water, and then add the vegetables in order which takes longest to cook. I learned this part from my mother when we went camping. But just cooking in order, it probably won't garner a lot of points. Look over at Rena. She had a variety of vegetables cooking together in a delicate balance. She wasn't being ambitious or calculating a way to win the game. She was making delicious food with a mother's touch. I have a feeling that I could somehow compete with Mion in terms of technique, but I would be no match for Rena. She was way out of my league.
うちのお母さんのカレーはね、いっつも具沢山だったんだよ。だから レナのカレーも具だくさんなの。本当は一晩かけてじっくり煮たいんだけどね。
頼む。俺のカレーにも少しお力を貸してくれないか。
ダメだよ。
Aw.
これ部活だもの。レナは負けないよ。
When she enters club mode, even the normally kind Rena becomes an enemy. Looks like Rika-chan is cooking apples as well. She's like a pro at this. How about Mion?
ミヨンてめえ、そりゃなんだよ。ハンバーグなんてどこから。
行事予定表で今日のことをあらかじめ知ってたからね。下ごしらえはバッチリってわけよ。私のカレーはゴージャスに行くよ。
That's cheating. Upon closer inspection, it looks like Mion brought her own vegetables and spices and other ingredients. They were spread all over the place. Mion, just for today, you brought all this stuff from your house?
意義あり。先生、こんなのありですか。
異議を却下します。美味しいカレーができれば先生は何でも OK です。
What the fuck, Teach? Would that normally serious teacher to go as far as to append a star to the end of her sentence? Ugh! Just as the rumor said, she is a through and through curry freak.
レナとリカちゃんは天性の料理上手。私は入念な事前準備で、ケイちゃんは
It's hopeless. In the grand scheme of cooking, peeling the vegetables is only a small part of it. The hurdles I must overcome are just too numerous and too high.
前原さん、こっちこっち。
Turning around, I saw the voices calling me belong to the two underclassmen from earlier, Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun.
なんだよお前ら。その鍋はなんだよ。お前らの班のか。
これ気づかれないうちにうちの女子のカレーなら前原さんが作るよりは出来はいいと思います。
Gee, thanks, Okamura. You guys, for me?
勘違いしないでくださいよ。僕たち前原さんに勝ってもらわないと。
That's right. If we don't win, then the talk of eating Satoko and Rika-chan's curry goes right out the window. It seems like you guys are getting riled up about this too.
すまん、世話になる。だがお前らのグループの女子がよく許したな。
前原さん、俺たちも本気ってことです。
Filling in on day duty 3 times. These guys, to assure me victory, have paid the price. That gaze filled with burning conviction from my underclassmen. Yeah, I'm not fighting this alone. I'm fighting this with everyone.
任せておけ。腹は空かせておけよ。絶対に食わせてやるからな。
お待ち申し上げております。
It's a gas though, so controlling the heat is easy. All that's left to do is let it stew a bit. The delicious smell of curry began wafting upwards. The pot gifted to me by my two underclassmen certainly drew some double takes. Rena even looked surprised when she came to take a look, so it must be pretty good.
ケイちゃんやるじゃない。これは最後までわからない勝負になったね。
ケイチくんのカレー、レナも食べてみたくなっちゃうな。
レナのカレーもミオンのカレーもみんな強敵だよ。俺の最善は尽くしたが結果はどうか。
ケイチさん、リカが呼んでますわよ。言ってあげてでございますわ。
What? Rika-chan calling me? What could it be? Well, whatever. While I'm at it, I can gather some intel on the enemy. Rika-chan was doodling on the ground in front of the pot, because all that's left is to let it stew. Even then, it's good to know that she doesn't leave the stove unattended.
よ、リカちゃんの方はどんな具合だい？
カレーさんなのです。
Huh? Rika-chan was doodling something strange and introduced it as Mr. Curry.
カレーさんはすごいのです。目からビームも出ます。
Of course he does.
ビー。
Are you sabotaging me? Apparently, Mr. Curry shoots beams from his eyes. Drawing a beam with a stick, she etched a line toward my feet. Does this mean I've been shot with a laser?
バリアービーム反射
I took another stick in my hand and reflected the beam striking Mr. Curry.
カレーさんのお腹からはミサイルも撃てるのです。
Fuck, Mr. Curry.
ビシュー。
おりゃー前原超電磁バリアーそして反撃のビーム
カレーさんはビームエネルギーを吸収して波動砲を撃てるのです。
Rika-chan and I scratched the ground, thoroughly engrossed in our doodle war. Wait a moment.
なあリカちゃん俺に何か用があって呼んだんじゃないのか
はい、呼びましたですよ。でももうご用は終わっているのです。
Yep. At that moment, a chill ran up my spine. Already fulfilled her purpose?
やられた
Headed back to my plot, standing there, just as I feared, was Satoko. With no questions asked, I dropkicked the back of her head. What?
何をしますの？レディの頭を何だとお思いですの？
なことはどうでもいいまさかサトコ俺のカレーに何か混ぜたんじゃ
失礼な。そこまで落ちぶれてはおりませんわ。
Really?
こう見えても私フェアですのよ。
じゃあこのよくわからない並べ方をしてあるしゃもじとかお皿とかはなんだこんな不安定な置き方をして倒れたらどうすんだよ
At that moment, a gentle breeze blew by, knocking over a ladle that was stood up on its end. The ladle, like a domino, fell over and knocked over the next cooking utensil in a row. Whap, 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 whap. Clank, clank.
これ
Thud,
は
thud.
芸術だなそういえば昔テレビでドミノ倒し世界記録に挑戦なんてのが流行ったよな
I love how he just stops and reflects upon this right now.
ケイちゃんフライパン
I didn't even have time to react. The chain reaction knocked over a cutting board, then a frying pan. The next part after that was my pot. The frying pan struck my pot full force, tipping it over. The contents cruelly spilled out, and now my masterpiece was being sampled by the schoolyard. I stared, dumbfounded. It was such a beautiful and elaborate mousetrap that for a moment, I lost touch with reality.
あらあら、大惨事ですわね。私は何もしてませんのよ。
At the very last moment, I had let my guard down. I ignored the culinary incompetent Satoko for far too long. Even if she couldn't cook, Satoko still had this method of fighting back. Just then, Rena, who had been sampling her own pot, let out a scream.
あれ、レナのカレーしょっぱいよ、しょっぱいよ。
Was Rena also sabotaged? Then what about Mion?
私のはご飯がしょっぱいやられた
これで邪魔者は戦う前に全て一掃でございますのよ。せっかくの力作が台無しなのです。かわいそかわいそなのです。かわいそかわいそですわよ。
Rika-chan and Satoko rubbed my dumbfounded head to their heart's content. Pushing the desks together, it was about time for the meals to be judged. The delicious odor of curry spread throughout this courtyard. The members of the forestry service, to whom we owed gratitude for their daily work, were guided to their seats. The principal gave a bit of a ceremonial introduction. Next, the teacher expressed her desire for them to judge the curry contest. The men from the forestry service seemed to like that kind of thing, and gave their enthusiastic approval.
さて皆さんできましたね。ではこれから審査員の皆さんと校長先生と私で試食をしますからね。
Everybody in the class brought their painstakingly made curry and arranged them on the desk. The only club members who managed a decent result were Rika-chan's group. Knowing full well it was a failure, Rena plated her curry for the judges. She already knew she was going to get a low score. But at least she was still able to serve hers. Both Mion's and my curry were completely obliterated, so we couldn't even line them up on the table. The judges started from the curry made by the lower grades. They had a lively discussion, praising the food. Finally, it was our curry's turn.
次は竜宮君のカレーであるな。実にうまそうである。
The principal cheerfully shoveled a spoonful of Rena's salty curry into his mouth. Of course, his expression immediately changed.
あらあらあら、竜宮さんどうしちゃったんですか？途中まではあんなに美味しそうだったのに。
Chia sensei must have had some expectations judging from her disappointment.
すみません。間違えてお塩を一袋入れちゃって。
Entire bag? The rest of the judges grimaced after they each had a bite. I feel sorry for them.
失敗こそ成功の調味料である。次回に期待するぞ。頑張りたまえ。
Saying that, the principal devoured the rest of the oversalted curry in one go, truly a man amongst men. Rena was down and out. Her offensive capabilities were something else, but she was defeated due to her weak defense.
では、次は僕たちのご賞味いただくのですよ。
フルデさんの班のカレーもとっても頑張っていますね。どれどれ？素朴だけど、これはとても美味しくできてます。
There was also the incident with Rena's salted curry right before this, so the judge assessment was extraordinarily high. Maybe not just extraordinary, but perhaps today's forerunner? The judges began a heated debate. One of those judges let out a sigh as he removed a chunk of carrot with his spoon.
この子のカレーも結構悪くないけどな。俺、人参嫌いなんだよね。
Personally, I think carrots are a staple of curry. But I guess each to their own. However, seeing that, Rika-chan read the nameplate on the chest of his coveralls and began to speak.
ダ
Coveralls?
メですよ、教授。人参を残してはいけません。
Oh my god. What is she saying all of a sudden? Everybody turned to Rika-chan with a stunned look. But what Rika-chan just did was super effective. The carrot-hating judge began stuffing his face with curry while tears streamed down his face.
教授、おかわりありますですよ。
What? While crying like that, he continued to shovel curry down into his mouth. That's right. Rika-chan's curry was by no means simple. No, that curry had the taste of a mother's cooking. With the carrot-hating judge out of the picture, Rika-chan's assessment was unanimous.
リカのカレーには誰もかないませんのよ。
Satoko let off a shrill laugh as she declared victory, but at that moment...
騙されてはなりません。審査員の南田さん、貧乏臭さをお袋の味と錯覚させるなどまやかしもいいとこ。皆様方が本当に食べたかったのはこういうカレーじゃない？
Oh! All of a sudden, in all of its perfect glory, Mion's curry. Not only the judges, but the teacher, the underclassmen, and of course myself, could only gasp in admiration. Hamburg steak with a demi-glazed sauce and a fresh salad? It's a set! It wouldn't be stretching it to say this was the full course meal. It's perfect, perfectly made.
すごいすごい。みーちゃんすごい。みーちゃんすごい。
Okay, we get it, motherfucker. Satoko was also shocked. Even Rika-chan couldn't hide her surprise. It seems the victor was decided without even needing a taste. Of course, the hamburger was hand-kneaded. The salad also had a home-style dressing, but of professional quality. And the curry, not even a micron of grit.
とっても美味しい。実に豊かな味わいですよ、園崎さん。このカレーこそ インド6000年の英知と日本人の食文化の美しい融和の生きた証。先生、感激です。これは満点の仕上がりですね。100点をあげちゃいます。
いえいえ、どういたしまして。クラス委員長として模範を示したまでです。
Mion bowed politely, and then winked at us with a smirk on her face.
僕の負けなのです。そんなはずありませんわ。確かに半合に再興しましたのに。
That's right. Satsuko had dumped salt into Mion's rice cooker, which should have ruined it. At that moment, it hit me. I spun back towards my own canister. That's why! At some point, my cooking canister had been opened, its contents completely emptied.
ミオンめー、俺のご飯を使いやがったな。ずるいぞ。お前のカレーも半分よこせ。
Mion clucked her tongue and waved her finger at me as a smirk washed over her face.
おっとケイちゃん、それは甘えてるよ。
There we go again.
この最後の土壇場を私は諦めなかった。そういう差でしょ。勝負は捨てたらおしまいってこと。
I couldn't even properly voice my shame.
みーちゃん、ケイチくんかわいそうだよ。ちょっとくらいなら分けてあげて。
いいのいいの、これは授業料だよ。ケイちゃんは今勝負を最後まで捨ててはいけないことを学んだのね。
It loathes me to say it, but Mion is right. To give up so quickly on the match was my own folly. For Mion to have brought that to my attention, I should actually be thankful to her. Well then, did that mean that even in this situation, I shouldn't give up?
カレーは鍋ごとひっくり返し、ご飯すらも残ってない。この状況でどう勝負を諦めるなんて言うんだよ。
前原さん。
Tomita-kun and Okamura-kun suddenly appeared. Damn it! Even though my proteges had tried so hard, I wasn't able to meet their expectations.
事故ですよ。仕方ないです。
Both of them were dejected. I couldn't accept defeat so easily. I was their senior, damn it! What would I be if I didn't pick up the broken pieces of the dream I had shown them? I just learned it from Mion just now, didn't I? Don't throw away the contest. Not until the last moment.
考えろ前原圭一、考えるんだ。カレーを作る方法じゃない、勝負に勝つ方法だ。
I had an idea. I didn't think it could turn the tables, but it was better than nothing.
富田君、手を洗ってこい。手伝っ。岡村君には探してきてほしいものがあるんだ。
おっす。
了解です。
Both of them dispersed after receiving these instructions.
ほう、最後にケイちゃんがどう上がった見せてもらおうじゃない。
往生際の悪い男は嫌われますのよ。
うるせえ。俺の最後の勝負を黙って見てろ。まずミオン、お前の飯盒をもらうぞ。嫌とは言わせん。
別にいいけど、しょっぱいよ。
レナも手伝っていいよね。ケイチくん非常事態だし。
そう言ってもらえるなら心強い。じゃあレナ、お茶を入れてくれ。
What?
はあ、信頼されてない。
Not in the slightest, dog.
それからサドゴ、そしてリカちゃん、一騎打ちを申し入れる。
なんですって。お話を伺いますですよ。
This was my duty to my two proteges who shed blood, sweat, and tears for my sake.
俺が100点をもらえたら、お前らのカレーをいただく。飯抜きだ。
冗談もほどほどでございますのよ。そんなのあかんぺーでございますわよ。
And you need to know when I'm not joking, motherfucker. Give me your curry!
いいでしょ、サトコ。受けなよ。
Maybe I ought to eat your cornbread. Firmly patting the top of Satoko's head, Mion said those words with all the gravitas of a club president.
これだけの致命傷を与えたんでしょ。再起なんかあるわけがない。だから聡子も堂々どうあがこうと逆転などあるわけがない。そうでしょ。
そうでございますけど、僕はいいですよ。ケイチ、ファイト、オーです。
The judges, seemingly growing tired of sampling the various curries, were debating each entry. From what little I overheard, it seemed that Mion's impending victory was not in question.
そういえば前原くんのカレーはどうなりましたか？先生まだ食べてませんよ。
はい、俺のカレーは鍋がひっくり返ってしまい。
そうであるか。それは実に残念である。
カレーは失いましたが、勝負を失ったわけじゃありません。皆さんをうまいと言わせてみせます。
My combative posture had drawn the attention of all the
まずは
judges.
黙って食ってください。文句はそれから伺います。これが俺の料理だ。
前原くん、それは。
おにぎりであるか。
The judges smiled wryly at the simple fare that was quite in contrast to the preceding bravado. Rena poured tea into the cups that she had brought over from the break room.
バカにしてますわ。それにほら、中身も何にもないただの塩握りではありませんの。こんなの勝負にもなりませんわ。確かに塩加減は悪くないかもしれないけど。
Rena's expression told me that she thought this was a great idea, but it might still not be enough to win the match.
前原さん、本当にこんなので。
後輩諸君、よく尽くしてくれ。大丈夫、黙って見てるんだ。
The judges were chewing with their mouths full and sipping at the tea. Nobody was singing praises or awestruck, but they were just quietly chowing down.
ケイちゃんも卑怯な手を使うようになったね。こりゃ辛いな。
あ、そうか。レナにも分かったよ。どういうことですの？なんでみんな黙ってあんなにも食べてますの？それはね、さとこちゃん。審査員さんたちね、実は。
Because they were judges, they had to sample each and every offering. And because they were from small children, because they were made to show their appreciation, they couldn't just eat a little bit of each. They
男は
couldn't
な、
just...
時には味よりも量を尊ぶこともあるんだよ。その時味は心震わせるものよりも素朴であることが望ましい。
They couldn't say it out loud, but this was the tastiest thing they had today. I confirmed that by looking in their eyes as the judges smiled wryly.
健闘は称えるが、今日はカレー勝負。これに点数を与えて良いものなのか。
The teacher and the principal had folded their arms while they pondered the situation. My underling, seeing that, saw the small glimmer of hope fade away and grew dejected yet again. Was this little surprise just not enough?
諦めるな、ケイちゃん。
Mion whispered quietly. That's right. If I didn't push here,
い
I
え
would lose.
先生、採点はしていただきます。カレーとおにぎりを異なって評価することにそもそも致命的な間違いがあります。
前原くん、何を言ってるんですか？カレーとおにぎりがなぜ？
The principal stopped the teacher. It looked like he was giving me one final chance. The judges, having eaten their fill, quietly waited for my statement.
本場インドのカレーは何というパンで食べるそうですね。
Correct.
ですからこのカレーライスという料理はそれを取り入れアレンジした日本の食文化の一つと言えるでしょう。冒頭に先生がおっしゃられた通り、インドと日本。
前原くんの言うことはわかります。でも それとおにぎりにどんな
とても簡単なことなんですよ。カレーもおにぎりもお米を美味しく食べるための知恵なんです。
Rice was introduced to Japan from ancient China. Our agricultural forebears watered the fields, fighting the elements, disease, and pests to grow and raise our rice-centric culture. Yes, the Japanese people have formulated a plethora of dishes, but those were nothing more than attempts to find ways to enjoy eating rice. In other words,
カレーもおにぎりも同じベース結晶なのです。
it was scattered at first, but slowly grew into a steady roar. It was a thunderous applause that praised me.
よまいごともほどほどになさいませ。認めませんわよ。先生はカレーの出来を採点してますのよ。こんなのは採点外。0点がふさわしいに決まってるでございますわ。先生、圭一君は頑張ったんです。認めてあげてください。
カレーの授業のはずだったのに、どうしましょう。
Mion, stifling her laughter, stepped forward.
かつてフランスからある高名なシェフが来日した時、ホテルの人たちがさまざまな材料をフランスから空輸したんだそうです。でもそのシェフはそれらに見向きもしませんでした。
どうしてなのですか？本場の材料さんなのですよ。
シェフは地元の漁港へ行き、日本で採れた新鮮な幸を使って料理を作ったそうです。食文化は決められたルールに縛られるものじゃない。文化なんです。日本に来れば日本の文化と溶け合って、また新しいものを形作る。だから、カレーもおにぎりも同じ日本の文化なんです。
Mion. She was providing fire support. I had to be grateful. The judges were somehow moved by this complicated yet baseless trivia. A stern look washed over the teacher's face as she refolded her arms.
前原くんはカレーのお鍋をひっくり返してしまったそうですね。
Correct.
危ないから気をつけなさいと初めにあれだけ言ったのに。
すみません。
ですが前原くんや園崎さんが言うように、食文化には垣根はありません。人を心底感嘆させるものなら、その形式は何ら差別されるものではない。
じゃあ
お鍋をひっくり返したので減点20。でも今日だけですよ。くじけないで頑張ったので特別に20点プラス100点をあげておきましょう。
Hey! My underclassmen leapt at me. A perfect score. We did it! We did it! The curry was spilt and our rice was taken. But we made a comeback. In the end, Rika-chan's curry also received full marks, so everybody but Rena had a perfect score. Since this contest was outside the scope of our regular club activities, there wasn't any particular penalty game. Rena breathed a sigh of relief.
さて約束だぞ。さとこにリカちゃん、君たちのカレーは没収する。
それじゃ私たちのお昼がなくなっちゃいますわ。
Satoko stomped angrily at the ground in frustration, but the price of defeat was
と
absolute.
言いたいところだが情けだ。半分は食ってよし。
圭一、ありがとうなのです。
My two protégés peered over from the sidelines, tears of joy streaming from their faces. We exchanged glances that would only be understood amongst men. We did it, Maibara-san! This is all thanks to you. This is all thanks to Mion. We flashed each other a thumbs up.
さてこのカレーは後輩たちに渡してっと。俺も腹が減ったよな。自分のおにぎりでも食うか。で、あれ
There was no trace of my onigiri. The ones I had set aside for myself included. As I peered around searching for them, the principal clapped a hand on my shoulder.
さっきの前原君の話を聞いていたら、噛み締める米の味が ひときわ美味での。
ひょっとして俺の分も食べちゃいました？
It could be. Wow. The principal simply laughed without answering. Seriously? What a fucking dick. My eyes half brimming with tears and my stomach rumbling, I was called over by the teacher.
前原くん、さっきはああいう場だったので満点ということにしましたが、分かっていますね。
Did I fail?
分かってって何がっすか？
There was an odd glint in the teacher's eyes. If I had to describe it, it was curry-colored. If you disrespect the name of curry one more time. Like a pot of stewing curry, her eyes whirled around in a spiral. A chill washed over me. The teacher clutched me by the shoulders and drew me in closer until our noses were almost touching.
カレーはこの世で一番尊くて神聖な素晴らしい料理です。それとおにぎりを同一扱いするなんて断固許せません。いいですか？カレーは四大河川文明に匹敵する第5の文明として古代インドに生まれ、アショカ王の時代にカピラ城で釈迦の生誕にバンコク食文化博覧会が絶賛して、ミシュランぐるぐるエッフェル塔すらもカレー漬けをぐつぐつ煮込んで、ターメリックを寝ても覚めてもカレーカレーカレーカレー。
Twirly twirly? What the fuck, Chie?
ちょっとケイチさん、何をフラフラしてますの？後片付けもお料理の一部ですのよ。ケイチくん、目がカレーだよ。どうしたのかな、この。
Curry, curry, curry. What?
あっちゃー、やられたか。大丈夫。一昼夜で元に戻るよ。多分。
It wasn't that long before hunger brought me back to my senses. In the end, all of the onigiri was eaten by the principal, so I had to make do without lunch. Skipping lunch. I never knew the afternoon could be so long and painful. A feeling other than drowsiness made me space out.
大丈夫かな、ケイチくん。
Nope.
だからレナのカレー食べなよって言ったのに。
As if I could eat this curry with enough salt in it to make my blood pressure rise up just by looking at it. Is what I said as I initially refused. I could only regret it. The hunger, the stomachache.
まあまあ、よくしのいだよ。あの絶対的な状況下からつくづくケイちゃんは追い詰められてからが強いね。
Cheers.
今はどんな褒め言葉もいらん。飯をくれ。
うちに帰れば何かあるんでしょ？
うちってお菓子とかの買い置きはないんだよ。カップ麺も今は底をついてるし。
我慢して待ってれば今日のお夕食はきっと美味しいよ。
I had absolutely zero intention of laughing along.
じゃあ私はこの辺で。また今日もバイトでね。慣れない職種はしんどいよ。
Wait, where are you gonna be working tonight? Ah, that job at Angel Mort Family Restaurant, huh? That uniform was somewhat stimulating.
やっぱウェイトレスさんってハードワークなんだな。
みーちゃんってウェイトレスさんやってるの？本当に本当に？どこのお店かな？は
違う。私はそう、先日のおもちゃ屋さんの店番なの。ウェイトレスさんはシオンで。
My bad. I completely forgot that was how it ended up being.
ごめん。あまりにもよく似てるから間違えた。
ケイチくん、シオンって誰かな？
Rena asked the obvious question.
ミオンの双子の妹なんだよ。性格は違うけど外見は瓜二つなんだ。
そうそう、外見は似てるけど中身は大違いなんだよ。私は優しくて思慮深いけどシオンは冷めてておっかない性格なんだよね。
Yeah, that's exactly how it is.
多分生まれた時にミオンの女の子らしい部分は全部シオンに行っちゃったんだと思う。ミオンと違って実にはにかんだ笑顔の似合う可愛い女の子なんだ。
ケイちゃ
Rena interjected as her eyes darted back and forth from our exchange.
ふーん、そうなの？レナ会ったことないの？みーちゃん、妹がいるなんて話してくれたことあったっけ？
Shion's existence was already being exposed as a cover-up. I couldn't help Mion out here. I could only have her end this charade.
あー、うん。レナには紹介したことなかったかな。私の双子の妹でシオンって言うんだよ。
知らないよ。聞いてないよ。みーちゃん家に行っても会ったことないよ。
Really?
ほら、知ってるでしょ？バッチャと住んでるのは私だけだから。
Where does she live?
シオンは沖宮の実家に住んでるの。あんまり仲が良くないから、こっちには来ないんだけどね。
ふーん。
Rena's face indicated she wasn't sure if she was convinced. She was usually a bit of an airhead, but she was unusually sharp when it came to these kind of things.
まあ嘘じゃないんだ。信じてやってくれ。
As she said, "Yeah, I believe you," a smile suddenly blossomed on Rena's face.
レナもいつか会ってみたいな。今度レナもお顔を見に行ってみるね。どこのお店で働いてるのかな？
She's getting more tangled in her little web. I could tell that Mion was getting increasingly frantic. I want to help her out, but it was hard for an outsider to butt in on family issues.
ごめん。バイトもう急がないと。じゃあね、レナにケイちゃん。また明日。
Unilaterally ending the conversation, Mion headed home. No matter how you looked at it, she was running away. We'll just label this one as an emergency escape.
みーちゃん、なんだか可愛かった。なんでかな？
Rena giggled in amusement. I wonder when dinner is. Would lying down be the best way to conserve energy, you think? I sprawled in the entryway without even taking my shoes off. As I was losing the last vestiges of my consciousness, the doorbell rang. It seemed I had a guest.
はいどうぞ。開いてますよ。
I directed my listless voice at the door.
どうもこんにちは。ってケイちゃん、何やってんですか？
What the fuck are you doing here? It seemed my guest was Mion, or rather, Shion. She seemed shocked when she saw me sprawled out in the entryway.
シオンか。またどうして？
I thought that Shion's existence was an illusion that was limited to when Mion was at the restaurant. That's why I never even considered that Shion would appear here.
お姉に聞きましたよ。今日のお昼、部活で大変なことがあってご飯食べられなかったんですよね。
ああ、大変だったぞ。聡子に鍋を倒され、ご飯はお前に盗まれて。
だから私、シオン。
She grew red and began to mope. That's right. She was the younger twin right now.
すまん。それでなんだよ。空腹の俺のために差し入れでも持ってきてくれたのか？
ありゃ、図星を疲れちゃってなんだかがっかりですけど、これ。
With a disappointed smile, Shion held out the small bento box she had hidden behind her bag.
本当に差し入れなのかよ。サンキュー。
お姉が学校に持って行ったハンバーグの残りがあったんで、ちょっと持ってきました。お夕飯前だとは思いますけど、いかがかなって思いまして。迷惑でしたか？
迷惑なんてめっそうもない。
Better not be no damn needles in that joint.
すげえ嬉しいよ。本当に食っていいのか？
Sneaking a look inside the box, to say that she just put some of the leftovers inside would have been a lie. There was an elegant meal stuffed inside.
本当にいいのか？これタバスコとかがいっぱい入ってるとか、そういう冗談じゃないのかよ。
もうお姉じゃないんですから、私そんなことしませんよ。別に嫌なら無理しなくても、帰って自分で食べちゃいますから。
How about we share it? Saying that, she pouted cutely and made a motion as if to snatch the box back. There were some times that made me doubt that she was the same person as Mion, and this was undoubtedly one of those moments.
全然嫌じゃないです。感謝の心を忘れずに噛み締めたいと思います。
そんな鼻水垂らされて感謝されるほどのことじゃ。
Shion, who had thought that I might not take the bento, looked down happily.
何もないけど上がってくか。
She's already inside.
お茶くらいなら出せるかも。
ごめんなさい。またの機会にします。私バイトに行く途中ですから。
That's right. She did say that before.
お弁当箱は適当に水洗いして、明日お姉にでも返しといてくださいね。
当然だぜ。こんなうまそうなのを食わせてもらったらそれぐらい礼儀だろう。
じゃあ私はこれで。あと最後に。
Shion grew red again as she looked down once more.
お姉がカレーの時、黙ってケイちゃんのご飯取っちゃいましたよね。悪ふざけが過ぎるとお姉、ついやりすぎちゃうんです。決して悪気があったわけじゃ。
She did it because she had to.
おいおい、別に俺はあんなのなんとも思う。部活の上でのことは恨みっこなしだからな。毎回スリリングに楽しませてもらってるのをこっちが感謝したいぐらいだぜ。そうミオンに伝えてくれるか？
はい、それお姉きっと喜ぶと思います。ではこの辺で。
Shion smiled brightly. After bowing deeply, she left as she looked at her watch. She's not wearing a watch.
嬉しいけど、これ本当に大丈夫なんだろうな。
I looked at the bento box that she left behind. A faint warmth spread through the palm of my hand. If it were Mion, I could see hot sauce, mustard, maybe even a needle being mixed inside. But really, I don't think she would go as far as putting a needle in there. So, those events have not happened at all? What? How does this work? I'm not sure yet. I opened the box once again and hesitantly tasted it. I took a bite, and another. There was no funny business. There was no danger at all, for it was delicious. That's right. That was Shion, not Mion, so there shouldn't have been anything to worry about. I rushed back to my room, eating as I gave my thanks. It was so delicious that my stomach could cry.
シオン、いや、ミオン。俺が空腹で死にそうって言ってたのを聞いて、大急ぎで持ってきてくれたのか。
It was delicious to the last bite. By the way, nothing strange had been mixed in, so you keep saying. I was a bit embarrassed at myself for being so skeptical.
「おいミオン、これ。
何よケイちゃん。
I thrust the bento box she had given me yesterday at her
昨
face.
日差し入れてもらった弁当箱だよ。ごちそうさま。うまかったぜ。
あ、
Mion's face quickly flushed a bright red. Hey now, you were the one pretending to be Shion when you gave it to me. You're gonna give it away if you get all red like that when you're being Mion. At this rate, she might trip and fall right into her own grave. So I decided to help her
あ
out.
のな、俺昨日腹を空かせてたらさ、シオンがわざわざ家まで来て弁当を差し入れてくれたんだよ。で、これはその弁当箱ちゃんと洗ってあるからな。
そうなんだ。シオンは気が利くね。
That was so transparent. Was Mion always this terrible at lying? Her expression was different than usual, but it looked strangely cute.
どうだった？
ミオンに瓜二つなやつだと思うぞ。だって双子なんだろ。似てて当然だよ。
じゃなくて、
Mion looked kind of bewildered, like she was waiting for a specific answer. When she said impression, maybe she didn't mean Shion, but the bento?
ああ、もちろん。うまかったぜ。
本当に？
俺は食い物の感想には嘘はつかないぞ。俺がうまかったって言ったら誰が食ったってうまい。万人におすすめできる評価だと思っていいぞ。シオンに実に美味しかったって伝えておいてくれ。
シオンにね。伝えておくよ。きっと喜ぶと思うよ。
We're going along with Shion having given it to me, not Mion, aren't we? Yet her laugh, it came from deep down and it sounded really happy. I guess she really can laugh nicely enough that just looking at her makes me feel better too. Are you falling in love, mate? A sarcastic remark made its way back onto my tongue, but I swallowed it back. As Mion went to put the bento box in a bag, she noticed a clattering noise.
ケイちゃん、なんか入ってるよ。あれ？はあ。
She opened it? The thing inside was a little embarrassing, so I wish she hadn't opened it here. Panicking, I hid it with my hands.
な、これはだな。うちのおふくろがお礼に入れとけって言ったんだ。別に俺のセンスじゃないんだからな。誤解すんなよ。
綺麗。飴だ。
There was a handful of candies neatly wrapped in paper inside the sparkly clean bento box. When I was cleaning the box out yesterday in the sink, Mom came over and interrogated me, and I fessed up as to who had given me the food. Then she told me something like this called for a display of gratitude. I didn't want to because it was embarrassing, so I argued that it wouldn't be like me to do that.
というわけなんだ。まあ、
I was so embarrassed that it felt like a fire might shoot out of my face. Mion laughing the whole thing off like she usually did would be fine, but for some reason, she was staring at the candy in the box with fascination.
ありがとう。
俺に言うな。入れたおふくろに言ってくれ。それにミオンが俺を言う必要なんかないんだぞ。それはシオンにあげるものなんだからな。
そうだよね。シオンに伝えておくね。きっとシオンも嬉しがると思うよ。
Mion, looking a little downtrodden, put the lid back on the box. Seemed like I ended up saying something a little mean at the end.
今日はなんだかみーちゃんほんわかな感じだね。いいことでもあったのかな風邪でもひいたんではありませんの？お顔が赤いのはきっと微熱のせいでしたよ。ってリカ、なんで私の頭を撫でますの？さとこもきっとそのうちお風邪をひけるようになりますですよ。
Pet pet. And with that, we are indeed going to call it an episode. I will see you guys next episode for part 4 of chapter 2 of Higurashi When They Cry. Until then, this has been your boy Karagol Gaming Man. I'm out of here. Love y'all and do see yous.